against the run. Chip, whenever you're ready to go,
Yep.
I'm ready to rock as well. I do like the Cowboys pick of Donovan Ezeraku. Picks to come after Dallas: Indy, Rams, Cardinals, Raiders, Cincy, Seattle, Denver, Tennessee, Tampa Bay. Those are the picks coming up, and obviously we're showing you a bunch of picks here at the bottom of your screen. Let's talk Alfred Collins here to the Niners. Oh, good call. PrizePicks. Interesting. All right, here we go. Alfred Collins to the Niners. Let's talk about it. It is clear here as we stand here on day 2 of the NFL draft in round 2 that the San Francisco 49ers are clearly committed to fixing what has been a porous run defense. The Niners in round 1 with the 11th overall pick went with Mykel Williams, the defensive end and edge rusher out of Georgia. Mykel Williams is a player who's really good at setting the edge, and with his massive, unique one-of-one size, is excellent as a run defender. And we knew going into the draft that the Niners had a bottom 5 defensive line as it stood prior to the draft. They needed to address defensive end and edge rusher. They did that with Mykel Williams, but they have multiple needs at defensive tackle, and they have checked that box as well. With the 43rd overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers have selected Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle out of Texas. You're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. You don't get this analysis anywhere else, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Alfred Collins, like Mykel Williams, is a player who has an NFL body, which translates to the next level right away. And that is very appealing, clearly, to the San Francisco 49ers. Mykel Williams is a player who's 6'5", almost 270 pounds, and Alfred Collins is an interior defensive lineman who at the NFL Combine checked in at 6'5", 332 pounds, and he is excellent as a run stopper. Finding defensive tackles who can defend the run, very hard in this wide 9. And so hopefully Alfred Collins can be a good scheme fit for San Francisco and help what has been a porous run defense over the last few years. The scouting report on Collins, it's clear. Fantastic run stopper with great power. He has the knack for getting his hands up and also knocking down passes. And so while there has been a lack of sack production and getting to the quarterback as a pass rusher, he does have this innate feel for being able to climb the ladder and bat passes down at the line of scrimmage. I wouldn't say he's the twitchiest defensive lineman, and sometimes that's hard to find at 6'5", 332, but he can impact the game with batting down passes at the line with a wingspan of 85 inches and arm length of 34 5/8 inches. Now, before we continue to move forward on today's show and talking about Alfred Collins, I want you to grade the pick. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments section. It's going to be the pinned comment of today's 49ers Report. I want to hear from you. More on Alfred Collins here. We're talking about a player who is large-framed, who has an excellent height, weight, length combination. And that's a big reason why at Texas, playing against very good competition, playing in some really big games against some excellent offensive linemen, he was able to have some flash plays and flash moments. Now in 2024, 16 games played, very durable, 55 tackles, 6 TFLs, 1 sack, and 7 pass breakups. Very experienced at the college level. He played 64 games and 28 games started. And so the Niners right now at defensive tackle, if the season were to start, would have to go with like Jordan Elliott and Evan Anderson. I think Alfred Collins has an opportunity to play right away. He's able to create a lot of movement and real estate with natural power. And when you watch him, you'll see these swats and strikes that he will use to his advantage. Has a really wide base, good body control and long arms to leverage blockers off balance to make some plays against the run. And in that short area trench play, that's really important to kind of move an offensive lineman or disengage from an offensive lineman in order to come up and make a tackle. Now, the Athletic's Dane Brugler is an NFL analyst who I really like. I think he's excellent at what he did. He had a second or third round grade on Alfred Collins. I would have loved if the Niners went Ariante Ursary with this pick because I think offensive tackle is another massive need, and I think he's a great scheme fit. He can help replace Trent Williams down the road. But again, defensive tackle was a huge need. There were other solid defensive tackles on the board, including a player like Darius Alexander out of Toledo, 24 years old, a little bit older than Alfred Collins, but the Niners are clearly going with a different player here as far as the build because Alexander is a little bit leaner and smaller. Here's what Brugler said about Collins, that he's still learning how to maximize his size and talent, but he took a sizable jump this past year, shows the physical traits to be a disruptive force, especially against the run. He'll provide immediate depth as a rookie, and his snap count should increase with experience. Another thing that's really impressive about Collins is that he has pretty quick feet for being 6'5", 330-plus pounds, pretty agile-footed big guy, and he can play multiple gaps to really flatten down the line. Another thing about Alfred Collins, elite tackler. His tackle-to-miss tackle ratio in 2024, he had 55 tackles and only 2 missed tackles. That is really telling. What happened with the Niners time and time again last year? They got gashed in trying to stop the run. They didn't have big bodies to move other big bodies up front, and so there were gaping holes, and they missed so many tackles, which was so frustrating for San Francisco. Going back to his ability to make plays at the line of scrimmage, he had 6 batted passes at the line in 2024 that was tied for number 2 in FBS, and he blocked a field goal as a senior. So he can help you on special teams as well. He played more snaps this past year. His effort didn't decline. The Niners love guys who love to play football, right? And Alfred Collins is a player who loves to play football. Even though he played more snaps, his effort did not decline. And another big thing for a big boy up front at defensive tackle, he played in 64 of 65 games during his 5 years with the Texas Longhorns. Now, we'll talk some of the weaknesses to his game coming up just around the corner. But first, our sponsor for our Alfred Collins video here on the Niners Report, our friends at PrizePicks, the best daily fantasy sports app in the game. Millions of users. They've given out billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Most importantly, it's daily fantasy sports made easy. Here's how you play. You pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stats, and you can win up to 2,000 times your cash. Another cool thing is that if you play $5, you get $50 instantly. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Think about where we are here in April. The draft is going on, and so PrizePicks has some lineups with some future draftees. You have baseball, basketball playoffs, hockey playoffs. It's an exciting time of the year. And speaking of some of those future selections for some incoming rookies, let's take a look. Cam Ward, less than 3,199.5 passing yards. That's how it works. Ashton Genty, more than 1,124.5 rushing yards. I think the Raiders are going to use him like a bell cow throughout the duration of his rookie contract. And then Travis Hunter, more than 699.5 receiving yards. It's as easy as that. Run your game with PrizePicks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. You can win up to 2,000 times your money, and you get $50 when you play 5. More on Alfred Collins here. Sometimes he comes off the ball tall, look, he's 6'5", 332, and he can struggle to get underneath blocks. Sometimes he relies on trying to win with power. He's a little bit long-legged, and so when he is so tall, that can hurt his ability to change directions. Sometimes with some of those power moves, the swats and the strikes, he'll spend too much time trying to do that, and that's like wasted movement, especially as a pass rusher. Now, against the run, he's able to use that power really quickly to stop the ground game. But as far as a pass rusher, he's going to need to do some work there. And 5-year player at Texas who played in more than 64 games. Texas has had some excellent defensive linemen, especially at defensive tackle, during his tenure, has 1 year of starting experience for the full season. 16 games played, 16 starts this past year. His TFL numbers year by year, he started playing right away as a true freshman. Pretty impressive. 10 games played and 1 start. He enrolled in July of 2020 during that pandemic-shortened season. That seems like forever ago. Had 2.5 TFLs, 1.5 sacks, 4 pass breakups, and a pick. The following year, 12 games, 4 starts, 5 TFLs, 2 sacks. Year 3, 12 games, 1 start, 17 tackles, 3 TFLs, 1 sack. And then the last 2 years, you've seen this ability to swat passes down at the line, and you can see that consistent motor as well. 2 TFLs, 2 sacks, 2 pass breakups, and then this past year, 55 tackles, 5.5 sacks, a career high for him. 5.5 TFLs, a career high, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 7 pass breakups. So I like this pick for San Francisco, and you can certainly see the strategy of what the Niners have done in the first 2 rounds here. Mykel Williams, athletic freak. He will wow you with his size. He can set the edge. He can stop the run. Needs to work on his pass rushing ability. Alfred Collins, huge size, 6'5", 330 plus, excellent against the run, and needs to work a little bit as far as his pass rush ability. But the Niners have put a clear emphasis on fixing what has been a broken run defense, and they're bringing in 2 physical specimens who can help bring an identity back to San Francisco, and it's an identity that they've lost over the last couple of years. Niners will be back on the clock barring a trade at 75. Who should the Niners draft next? Let me know down in the comments section. Join the conversation. Make a prediction if you want. Don't forget to subscribe. We just surpassed 160,000 subscribers here on the show. And if you liked what you saw here today, this is what we do. All right, so some picks that we can catch you up on that have happened of late.